Hi guys, welcome back to All Year Round Short Stories. Today we have a touching audio story, called Bidding on Love. I attended a charity auction and found love in the enemy's arms. So relax, drink your cup of tea, or coffee. Now let's begin. When I received an invitation to a prestigious charity auction, little did I know that it would turn my world upside down. My friend Kate had dropped out at the last minute, so I attended the auction alone. Dressed in my finest attire, I entered the grand auction room. It was buzzing with excitement and anticipation. The room was filled with wealthy patrons and generous benefactors, all ready to support a noble cause. I strolled around, taking in all the beautiful art pieces. There were so many luxury items which were up for auction, which caught my eye. I happened to look across the room and suddenly my eyes locked with one of the most striking men I have ever seen. He had a confident demeanor. I also noticed the hint of boyish mischief in his smile. It was as though he held a secret that only his twinkling eyes could reveal. Unable to resist the magnetic pull, I found myself making my way toward him. As luck would have it, our paths crossed near a table displaying a breathtaking sculpture. "Beautiful, isn't it?" he said, breaking the silence between us. I simply nodded. I was taken in by his piercing blue eyes. Absolutely lovely. I wonder who the lucky bidder will be. He laughed softly. It could be me. By the way, I'm Brett. I'm Sally, I replied. I couldn't help but smile. Our conversation was effortless. I actually felt like I was catching up with an old friend. We laughed, exchanged numbers and discovered that we possessed a similar sense of humor. The auction became background noise. We were having so much fun that we lost track of time. Days rolled into weeks. We enjoyed scrumptious lunches as well as weekend getaways. Brett and I enjoyed each other's company more and more. He was a total gentleman. He was attentive, caring, and always surprising me with thoughtful gifts. I was having the time of my life. However, the hand of fate had its own plans for us. One evening, while browsing the internet, I stumbled upon a news article about Brett's multi-million-dollar business venture. My jaw dropped. My palms became clammy as I read the headline, "Business rivalry intensifies, Brett's company was my husband's main competitor." I froze, the realization hitting me like a thunderbolt. How could this be happening? The guy who I'd been dating was my husband's business rival. Panic and confusion overwhelmed me. How had I not known? How could I have missed this? The next few days were a whirlwind of conflicting emotions. I was torn between my loyalty to my husband and the undeniable emotional pull of Brett. He told me countless times that I was beautiful. He even told me that he was looking out for the perfect apartment for us. He informed me of his intention of marrying me. I was over the moon. No man had ever showered me with this much attention. However, I couldn't escape the guilt which gnawed at me. I knew that one day I would have to suffer the consequences of my actions. Finally, I mustered the courage to tell Brett about my feelings for him. We met at our favorite cafe. The atmosphere heavy with unspoken tension. As I spilled my fears and confessed my feelings, his expression softened. He reached across the table, gently taking my hand in his. "I understand your dilemma, and I never intended for it to be this way," Brett said, his voice filled with sadness. "But please believe me when I say that my feelings for you are genuine. Our connection goes beyond the boundaries of rivalry." Tears welled up in my eyes as I listened to him. I saw the truth in his gaze, a vulnerability that mirrored my own. Despite the circumstances, my heart yearned for him. And I knew deep down that I couldn't ignore this love that had unexpectedly blossomed between us. With a heavy heart, I made a difficult decision. I would have to confront my husband, confess my indiscretions, and face the consequences of my actions. It was a risk, but it was a risk I was willing to take for the sake of my own happiness. As I stood outside my husband's office, trembling with nerves, I took a deep breath and pushed open the door. I had to do this now. I couldn't back out. I braced myself for the storm that was about to come, knowing that the path ahead would be rocky and uncertain. Love had led me astray, weaving an intricate web of desire and deception. The twists and turns of fate had guided me to a crossroads where I had to make a choice, between the man I had vowed to love and the man who had awakened my heart. Little did I know that this was just the beginning, a journey that would test my nerves and inner strength. My capacity to forgive would also be challenged over the coming months. And as the days unfolded, I would come to realize that sometimes, love could be found in the most unexpected places, even in the arms of a family enemy. As I walked into my husband's office, his stern expression greeted me with a mixture of surprise and suspicion. His eyes narrowed as he took in my disheveled appearance. He noticed my anxiety that radiated from every pore. I braced myself for his wrath, knowing that my confession would shatter the trust we had built over years of marriage. With trembling lips, I laid bare the truth. Each word fell heavily in the silence that engulfed the room. I watched as my husband's face contorted with anger and hurt. He listened to my every word, his gaze piercing through me. The atmosphere in the room took on a slight chill. I saw the hurt and disappointment on his face. The room echoed with accusations, the weight of betrayal settling heavily upon my shoulders. Finally, my husband's voice sliced through the tension. "Leave," he commanded, his tone laced with bitterness and disdain. "You have broken the sacred marital bond we shared. I will not tolerate this betrayal. Pack your things and get out. And don't you dare come back. We are done." As I gathered my belongings, with tears streaming down my face, I couldn't help but feel a profound sense of loss. I thought he may chase after me.
Get out.
This didn't happen. I had gambled everything for love. Thank goodness I had Brett. Just thinking about him made me feel heaps better. I packed all my belongings and booked a room in a hotel. I phoned Brett. He would make me feel better. I will find some solace and sympathy from him. But to my dismay, I was met with unexpected coldness. His voice dripped with indifference as he revealed the truth I had been oblivious to: he had been engaged all along. The lowlife was going to marry a princess from an European country. Shock and devastation washed over me. I could barely speak, I felt my knees buckle and I fell onto the bed. I found myself in a freefall of despair. The man I had risked everything for, the one I had believed to be my soulmate, had used me as a mere distraction. All I was to Brett was a fleeting love interest who gave him an ego boost. Nothing more. With nowhere left to turn, I was left to pick up the pieces of my shattered life. Alone, heartbroken, and consumed by regret, I embarked on a journey of self-discovery and healing. Gone were the days of designer clothes and luxury cars. I had been truly humbled. I managed to get a job working in a local bar. The hours were long. The upside was that I managed to get free boarding. I even swapped coupons with the other bar staff. Many guys approached me whilst at the bar, but I wasn't interested. I vowed never to let myself be blinded by false promises again. I was going to rebuild my life carefully. Months turned into years, and I slowly rebuilt the fragments of my broken existence. I discovered an inner strength I had never known before, transforming my pain into determination. And in the process, I found true love, not in the arms of a stranger, but within myself. I learned from a close friend that my ex-husband was married and had 2 children with his Australian wife. By all accounts, they were immensely happy. I felt so regretful when I heard the news. I had discarded my marriage for nothing, not realizing how fortunate I had been. If I could go back, I would have purchased an art piece and left Brett well alone. Needless to say, you definitely reap what you sow in life. I have learned my lesson the hard way. Sometimes, life throws unexpected curveballs, testing our resilience and challenging our perceptions of love. The memory of the charity auction, the forbidden romance, and the bitter betrayal became a lesson which, by the grace of God, I was determined to learn from. Today I feel stronger than I ever have, and I know that I'm a survivor. I am ready for what the future has to offer me. I will never again be defined by another person's expectations. As I look back on that tumultuous chapter of my life, I am reminded that the greatest love we can find is the love we cultivate within ourselves. And though the wounds of the past may have scarred me, they have also molded me into a self-assured, confident woman. I will never settle for anything less than the love I truly deserve. We are now at the end of my story. Thanks so much for listening. We are a new channel, so please don't forget to like, share, comment and subscribe. More audio stories from All Year Round Short Stories coming next week. Bye for now.